The Footsteps in the Attic, submitted by Karen S. from Massachusetts. We heard footsteps above us during Thanksgiving dinner. Slow, deliberate walking, back and forth across the attic. The problem is, our attic is sealed, has been for 15 years. And nobody should be up there. This was Thanksgiving 2024. My husband and I were hosting at our house in Salem, built in 1928. Beautiful old colonial, 3 stories plus an attic. We'd lived there for 15 years, raised our kids there, knew every creak, every sound, every quirk of the old house settling. The attic had been sealed when we bought the place. Previous owners said there were structural issues, unsafe flooring. They'd locked the access hatch, told us never to open it. We never had reason to. Never needed the space, never thought about it. Just an empty room above our heads that we pretended didn't exist. Our son and daughter were home from college. My sister's family came over. My parents, 12 people total around the table. We were having a wonderful time, laughing, sharing stories, passing dishes. Everything felt warm and perfect and exactly like Thanksgiving should feel. We'd just finished saying grace when we heard it. Footsteps, directly above us, in the attic, slow, measured, walking from one end of the space to the other. The old floorboards creaking under weight, under pressure, under someone moving across them. Everyone went quiet. My father looked up at the ceiling, asked if we had someone else in the house. A guest running late, maybe. Someone upstairs. I said no. Everyone was here. Everyone was at the table. All 12 of us accounted for. The footsteps continued, walking back. Same path, same rhythm, same deliberate pace. Like someone pacing, like someone measuring the space. Like someone who knew we could hear them and didn't care. My husband stood up, said it must be an animal. Squirrels maybe, raccoons, something that got into the attic, something nesting up there. He'd check it out after dinner. For now, let's eat. Let's not worry about it. But the footsteps didn't sound like animals. Too heavy, too rhythmic, too human. Animals scurry, animals scratch. Animals move in erratic patterns. This was walking, purposeful, controlled, back and forth, never stopping, never changing pattern. My daughter asked when we'd last been in the attic. I told her never. It was sealed when we bought the house. The hatch was locked. We'd never opened it, never even tried. She asked if we were sure it was still sealed, if maybe someone had opened it, used it, been up there. My son volunteered to check. He's 22, practical, not easily scared. He got up from the table, went upstairs to the second-floor hallway, where the attic hatch was located. We heard him in the ceiling, his footsteps on the second floor, then silence, then his footsteps coming back down. He returned to the dining room, said the hatch was still sealed, still locked, old padlock, rusty, hadn't been touched in years. No way to access the attic. No way anyone could be up there. Must be animals. Must be something else. Must be a logical explanation. But the footsteps continued. We tried to eat. Tried to have normal conversation. Tried to ignore the sound of someone walking above our heads. Someone who shouldn't exist. Someone who couldn't exist. Someone who was there anyway. My sister's husband, practical man, engineer, said old houses make sounds, especially when temperature changes. Wood expands, contracts, creates noises that sound like footsteps. Sound like walking. Sound like presence when there's nothing. Just physics. Just materials responding to environment. Nothing supernatural. Nothing to fear. The footsteps stopped. We all noticed. All looked up. Relieved silence. See? Just the house. Just temperature. Just old wood settling. Nothing more. Let's enjoy our dinner. Then we heard dragging. Something heavy being pulled across the attic floor. Scraping. Grinding. Moving from one side to the other. Then stopping. Then silence. Again. My father said we should call someone. Exterminator. Contractor. Someone who could check the attic. Figure out what was up there. Put our minds at ease. This wasn't normal. Wasn't something to ignore. Something was wrong. Something needed to be addressed. My husband agreed. After dinner, after everyone left, he'd call someone, get it checked, get it resolved. But for now, let's finish our meal. Let's not let this ruin Thanksgiving. Let's try to have a good time despite the mystery above our heads. We heard it again during pie. Footsteps. Same pattern. Same pace. Back and forth. But this time, they stopped directly above where I was sitting. I could pinpoint the location. Right above my chair. Someone standing still. Right above me. And I swear, I felt it. Felt the weight. Felt the presence. Felt something looking down through the ceiling. Through the old plaster and wood. Through the barrier that separated us. Felt eyes I couldn't see, watching me eat pie and pretend everything was normal. Everyone left around 8. My sister hugged me. Whispered that I should stay somewhere else tonight. Something felt wrong. Something about those footsteps. Something about the timing. Like whatever was up there knew we were having dinner. Knew we were gathered. Knew exactly when to make itself known. After everyone left, my husband got the ladder. Set it up under the attic hatch. Climbed up. Examined the padlock. It was old. Rusted. But intact. Still locked. Still sealed. He tried to look through the gap around the hatch. Couldn't see anything. Too dark. Too narrow. Just empty space beyond. He climbed down. Said we'd call someone tomorrow. Professional. Someone with tools. Someone who could open the hatch safely. Check the attic. Confirm it was empty. Or find whatever was up there. Animals. Intruder. Something. Anything. Just get answers. Get resolution. Get peace of mind. That night, we barely slept. Every sound made us alert. Made us listen. Made us wonder if the footsteps would return. If the dragging would start again. If whatever was up there would make itself known in new ways. In worse ways. In ways that couldn't be explained by temperature and wood expansion. And old house physics. Around 3 in the morning, we heard it. Not footsteps. Scratching. Like someone was scratching at the attic floor. Right above our bedroom. Fingernails on wood. Slow. Persistent. Rhythmic. Scratch. 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 Pause. Scratch. 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 My husband grabbed his phone, called the police, explained the situation. Someone might be in our attic. We don't know how. The access is sealed. But we hear movement. We hear sounds. We need someone to check. Need help. Need answers. 2 officers arrived within 20 minutes. They brought equipment, bolt cutters for the padlock, flashlights, weapons. They took this seriously, treated it as a possible intruder situation. Possible squatter. Possible danger. They cut the padlock, opened the hatch, shined flashlights into the darkness. The attic was empty. Completely empty. No furniture, no storage, no animals, no person, just empty space. Dust, cobwebs, old insulation, nothing that could make footsteps, nothing that could drag objects, nothing that could scratch at floorboards. But the floor had marks, fresh marks, drag marks in the dust, footprints, human-sized, boot prints maybe, leading from one end of the attic to the other. The pattern matched what we'd heard. Walking back and forth, then dragging something, then stopping. The evidence was there, clear, undeniable. Someone had been in that attic, recently, while we ate dinner, while we heard them above us. The officers searched every inch, checked for access points, roof damage, loose boards, any way someone could have entered and exited. Found nothing. The attic was sealed, no windows. No vents large enough for a person. No damage to the roof. No holes. No openings. No explanation for how someone could be up there. Could leave footprints. Could make sounds. Then vanish completely. They took photos. Took measurements of the footprints. Size 11 boot. Deep impression. Heavy person. Moving deliberately. Standing in specific spots. Including the spot directly above where I'd been sitting during dinner. Where I'd felt watched. Where something had been standing. Looking down. Observing. The officers said they'd file a report. Said to call if we heard anything else. Said to keep the attic hatch locked. Said they couldn't explain it. Couldn't identify how someone accessed the space. Couldn't solve the mystery. Just document it. Acknowledge it happened. Leave us with more questions than answers. We haven't heard footsteps since. That night was the only time. Just Thanksgiving. Just during dinner. Just when our family was gathered. Like whatever it was only appears then. Only makes itself known during that specific time. That specific gathering. That specific tradition. I researched our house history. Found something disturbing. In 1968, the family living here had a tragedy. Their teenage son disappeared on Thanksgiving. Went upstairs after dinner. Never came down. They searched the house. Searched the neighborhood. Called police. He was never found. Just vanished. From this house. On Thanksgiving night. The attic had been his bedroom. Before it was sealed. Before it was declared unsafe. Before the family moved out and never spoke about what happened. The attic where we heard footsteps. Where we found fresh boot prints. Where something paced back and forth above our dinner. Above our family. Above our gathering. I don't know if it's related. Don't know if the boy who disappeared in 1968 somehow walks that attic still. Don't know if what we heard was him. Or something else. Or someone else. Or nothing at all. Just sounds and coincidences and old houses playing tricks. But I know what I heard. What we all heard. What the police found evidence of. Footprints in an attic that was sealed for 15 years. Bootprints in dust that should have been undisturbed. Marks suggesting presence. Suggesting movement. Suggesting something that shouldn't be possible. Something that happened anyway. We're not hosting Thanksgiving next year. Can't. Every time I think about sitting at that table, I remember the feeling, the weight above me, the presence, the sense of being watched from above, from somewhere I couldn't see, couldn't access, couldn't escape. The attic hatch is locked again. New padlock, stronger. We sealed the edges with caulk, made it as inaccessible as possible, made it impossible for anything to enter, or exit, or move between that space and ours. But sometimes late at night, I hear it, faint, distant, footsteps above, walking the same path, back and forth, never stopping, never resting, never explaining. Just there, in the sealed space, in the room that shouldn't be accessible. Walking, waiting, watching. And I wonder if we're alone in this house, if we've ever been alone, if the attic has always had something in it, someone in it, pacing, observing, making itself known only once a year. Only on Thanksgiving. Only when families gather and feel safe and have no idea that something above them is listening. Watching. Walking. Marking the floor with boots that leave prints in 15-year-old dust. We'll never know who. We'll never know why. We'll never know if it'll happen again. If next Thanksgiving, wherever we are, whatever house we're in, we'll hear footsteps above us, reminding us, haunting us, following us, because maybe it's not the house. Maybe it's not the attic. Maybe it's us. Maybe we're the ones being followed, being watched, being visited by something that chooses Thanksgiving, chooses family dinners, chooses the moment we feel most safe to remind us that safety is temporary, that presence is everywhere, that some things walk above us, unseen, unknown, unexplained, forever.